All right, today we're going to talk about something a little different. A different path for, maybe the most personal piece of tech you own, your phone. We are diving headfirst into the world of Ubuntu Touch, a mobile operating system that has a fundamentally different idea about what a smartphone should be.
I mean, really think about it for a second. With all the notifications buzzing, the constant data tracking, those walled gardens of the app stores, does your phone really work for you? Or does it feel more like it's working for the company that made it? It's a feeling a lot of people have, and it's exactly why they start looking for an alternative.
And that alternative path for us today is Ubuntu Touch. Now, this isn't just another skin on top of Android. No, this is a completely open-source, community-driven project. The whole idea is to put the control right back in your hands. So what does that journey actually look like? Let's find out.
Okay, first things first, you have to actually get it onto a device. And the team behind Ubuntu Touch, the UBports Foundation, they make a very, very appealing promise when it comes to the installation.
I mean, come on, that sounds fantastic, right? Plug and play. That's the dream. That idea is exactly what gets people interested. No messing with complicated commands, no spending hours on forums, just a simple, automated process.
And on the surface, it looks just that simple. The official installer literally boils it down to 3 steps. It makes it seem like anybody could get this done in like 5 minutes. But as you might have guessed, there's a little more to the story.
Yeah, before you even get to those simple 3 steps, there's this prep list. First off, you need the right device. The experience is really only great on a few specific models, like the Fairphone or the Google Pixel 3a. Then you have to do a couple of technical things. Unlock the bootloader and enable USB debugging. Think of it like this. Unlocking the bootloader is like getting the master key to your phone's software, and enabling USB debugging opens a special door so your computer can talk to it. Now, these steps can be a little scary for a beginner, and yep, they can void your warranty. And you also have to accept a pretty big risk. If you try to go back to Android and mess it up, you could actually brick your phone. So while the installer itself is easy, the prep work, that requires some real care.
Okay, so let's say you've navigated all that. You got it installed. What's it actually like to live with Ubuntu Touch every single day? Well, this is where the real trade-offs start to show up. The day-to-day really gets to the heart of it. On the plus side, it's totally open source, the community is awesome, and you're completely free from all that corporate tracking. For a tinkerer, it's a dream come true. But the cons are pretty significant. The app gap is probably the biggest one. Users say it's slower than the Android that came on the phone, the battery life takes a hit, and the whole user interface can feel a bit clunky. You often need 2 hands to get around. Oh, and the default web browser? It's notoriously old.
And this is the elephant in the room. It's the make-or-break question for just about everybody. What do you do when you absolutely positively need that one banking app, or your group chat is on a service that only has an Android app?
Well, the community has a pretty clever answer. It's called Waydroid. Basically, it's like running a tiny virtual Android phone inside your Ubuntu Touch phone. It lets you install and run Android apps. It's an absolutely crucial bridge, but it is far from perfect. Performance can be a real mixed bag. It definitely uses more battery. And because of security, a lot of banking apps just flat out refuse to work.
So, if it's so tricky, why bother? Well, this quote from a user on Reddit, I think it just hits the nail on the head. All that friction, the lack of constant notifications, needing to purposely launch Waydroid to use certain apps, it forces you to stop the mindless doom scrolling. Your phone stops being a distraction machine and becomes a tool again, a tool you use with purpose. It's all about being more intentional.
Now, with any of these smaller, niche projects, there's always a big worry. Does it have a future? Is this thing a dying experiment, or is it a living, breathing platform that's actually going somewhere? Well, the good news is Ubuntu Touch is very much alive. The community is pushing forward, for sure. As of late 2024, they're working on Volte, which is super important for making phone calls in the US. There's a whole new OS version in the works called Noble. They're still pushing out regular updates, improving features like wireless display, and the developers actually hold Q&A sessions every 2 weeks. This is definitely not a dead project.
So, after looking at how you install it, what it's like to live with, and where the project is headed, we get to the final decision.
Look, at the end of the day, it really boils down to this. Ubuntu Touch is not trying to be a perfect drop-in replacement for what you have now. It's a choice. It's a conscious decision to trade the smooth, seamless convenience of the big guys for privacy, for openness, and for having the ultimate control over your own device.
And that really leads us to the final question, the one you have to answer for yourself. Is that trade-off worth it? Is getting that digital control back, having a more intentional relationship with your phone, is that compelling enough to justify the learning curve and all the compromises? The path is there, but whether you take it, Well, that depends entirely on what you value most in that little device in your pocket.